welcome to the Poets Cafe, the art of conversation. It is where artists comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds through various forms of expression, including writers, singers, spoken words, and artistic expressions in painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities to the minds at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the sky, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Arts of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCray. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to embark on a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. If it's Thursday, it must be Poetically Speaking with yours truly, Terry Benjamin and Ronald C. McCray, and you. And today's agenda, what's going on? And when I say what's going on, I'm not talking about what's going on out there. I'm talking about what's going on inside you. Because again, the change that we really need is inside you. We give you information not because we want you to think like us or act like us or talk like us, but we want you to be critical thinkers. But it begins inside. So what's going on? And so what's going on inside? Also want to give a special shout out to those our friends on TikTok. I want to say what's going on, Sylvia Carter. I want to say what's going on, Barbara Bowles, Valentine Gordon. I want to say what's going on, Joanne Blount. What's going on, Raymond DeVoe. What's going on, Mark Roberts. What's going on, Connie Red. What's going on, Isu Canty. What's going on, Shamba Zane. What's going on, Solange Waltrick. What's going on, Barbara Humes. What's going on, Evan Terry Benjamin and the twins. And again, what's going on? What's happening? The quote of the day is from a gentleman who really is the inspiration for many of the prominent motivational speakers. You know, when they talk about who inspired them, many of them say Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn, I call him a motivational teacher. And it's Jim Rohn who said, let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. Okay, your future is in your hands because you have the will and you have the information that you need to make that change. What's going on? What's going on inside you? And so, as always, it's my great pleasure to present this segment of our program. And we call it Ron's Poetry for a reason, because we have Ron here. He's our poet in residence, and he always has something good for us. So, Ron, what do you have for us tonight? I'm excited.
Well, I have one. But I also want to piggyback a little off of what you said. What's going on? And we say it all the time. What's going on? You should be telling us what's happening so we can come to your party and enjoy the festivities. Right. You know, what's going on? We want to know. You know, Marvin Gaye sang it and everybody else saying, what's going on? So that's what's important. So let me read this. This is a short one. Actually, I didn't finish it, but nevertheless, I'm not going to tell you that.
We don't know that, though.
We don't know that.
But if it was finished.
But here it is. Born in the spirit of life. Born empty-handed, I laughed in joy and cried in pain. Writing my mysteries and uniting for a future to be gained. Mourning and groaning about what is yet to come. When time asks me the question, how long will it take before the day is done? Living in sorrow for things that lack soul, using the excuse of untold stories. Where will we go to journey somewheres without ever leaving home by the end of tomorrow? Lock yourself in your own prison and confinement without bars or guards to hold you back. Whispering in silence, voices with no sound, just the revival of nothing, calling out. Instantly, insanely, is a home with no address, delivering mail without a messenger. The spirit of life gives unlimited access to a world beyond any imagination. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Ooh.
What does that mean to you? What's going on? Tell
What's going
us.
on?
Fulfill the blank. Fill in the blanks. Tell us the rest of the story.
What's going on?
Something's going on. Because if nothing's going on, you can't tell us what's going on. You didn't even answer the question. The bottom line is, then why you sitting there?
That's right.
Why you listening to us? Because we're trying to tell you and engage you into our conversation, part of this platform, to tell you what's going on.
What's going
What's
on?
going on is you, because we appreciate you chiming in your comments and listening to us as we continue to bring forth information. That's what's going on.
What's going on? You got some more for us? Yeah, I tell you, man, that you didn't finish that poem, but you know what you gave was really very encompassing. You know, it really puts it in a particular direction.
I want everybody else to finish it. I want you to come back with something.
Finish it in your heart.
Absolutely.
And in your spirit.
Let me see. I'm not sure if I had this one before. But anyway, facility. The facility is a spacious cafe where each image vision sets the tone for an open perspective on viewing the gallery. The incredible feeling of showcasing hands-on help on the iconic wall, full of art, shining with passion, welcomes visitors as the entrance doors swing wide open. It invites everyone to gather in a moment of introducing the quality of new relationship towards intuitive, intellectual art, creating a meeting of the mind. Greeting is a simple act that reminds us of the warmth in how someone introduces a special moment, leaving a brief joy in the heart. It invites a moment to keep curiosity alive. Much like after a Broadway show finish, it is its last performance before the hour strikes and time seems to pause. Just waiting for another glass of wine to flow into the midnight morning as the sun rises slowly. Each move reflects a thought without distraction or interruption, without needing a clear response beforehand, as one engages in the art of meaningful conversation about what inspires an unexpected first-time laugh, one that jolts the inner emotional state and found the right way to ease a slow-moving fear and push it aside. To live life and recognize that it can be abundant without the disappointment of something short-circuiting during an evening out. A facility promotes poetic expressions in a gallery where the fleeting moment is ideal for sparkling conversation as new clients reach for another drink, with the right words creating another chance to deepen genuine interest. Before the evening ends, all goodbyes can leave a negative impression of someone, even when one hopes to part gracefully. Honest and open communication is the goal, aiming to say yes before the moon sets in the western sky and time simmers away into the spirit of remembrance. What's going on?
What's going on? Richard Medley says, good evening, God bless. What's going on?
What's going on? You know, it's interesting that, you know, there are so many pieces, narratives we come, you know, poetically speaking, you know, music is lit. It's all about how do we entertain the question, what's going on? Because no matter, you can hear the exact same thing over and over and over again, but it has a different perspective.
That's right. That's right.
Meditation of love. Bound by the solitude of life, along the water edge, Time feels surreal. Each moment creates a rhythm of sounds, like a shimmering whirl, where only the passing quietness delivers a message in a bottle without the bottle itself, but the enchanting notes is written in an unknown script. Sitting alone helps the inner self reconnect with the flow of time as each splash of water hits the rocks, filtering out the outside world and welcoming the gentle breeze of life, a renew of inner membranes, allowing the heart to beat in rhythm. Meditation on love is the key to genuine connection when sharing warmth between two people. Its story full of mysteries with the unknown revealed on the journey into the dreams of midnight glows, gazing at the stars that shine so beautifully into the eyes deep within the inner space. Riding the gentle ripples as one meditates while writing the lyrics to the song of poetry, painting the image of love while gathering a gallery of feelings without ever expressing words. Only a vibration that sends a warm chill through the history of time, since the ancient times embracing the love of meditation without breaking the bond of emotional passion. Meditation is like wandering through the wilderness on a soul-searching journey to find that soul mate in a realm never explored, but discovered unexpectedly. The state was beyond proof, yet the beauty in the eyes draws attention over a cup of pure, refreshing, and flavorful wine. How does someone toast to new romance in an ungraceful way along the water edge where rivers meet, fading into the ocean blue? Love meditation exists in every love story still waiting to be discovered and embraced by the one who was missed or forgotten. It links to knots beyond the memories of a journey with no end, just a pure feeling simmering in the quietness of time, as the sounds of water slowly bellows their way, fading away quietly. The kiss of love spoke with a kiss of memories, never to be heard again. There's nothing greater than, and one of the most memorable things about that, when you meet somebody somewhere you don't know where they might meet, the library, gallery, along the water edge. And I was talking to somebody in the park, and we was talking about the water, how softly and quietly it simmers its way.
Yes.
That's where romance is. You see, so once you meet that person in that moment, that time, and all of a sudden, even if you didn't have the physical kiss, but the thought of the memories of having a kiss to say goodbye, but that lasts forever. What's going on?
What's going on? And it's interesting as we go through the program today. I just want to give a shout out to our engineer, Jeff. But I want to move into Mind, Body, and Books. Got a special book here from a special friend, a young lady from New York City. Her name is Donna Hill. I met her when she wrote her first book, Rooms of the Heart. And I was in Plainfield, and we had a book club. And we read her first book, and we read her second book, and I reached out to her publisher and had her come to Plainfield. And we took her out for a nice dinner and just really celebrated her. And she's gone on to write over 30 books. And the book that I have in my hand right now is entitled Confessions in B Flat. And this is from Donna Hill, and it's entitled, subtitle, A Civil Rights Love Story. And this book is really in post-production is going to be a film by Sherry Shepard. And so, again, just reading from the back of the book here, Essence best-selling author Donna Hill brings us an emotional love story set against the powerful backdrop of the civil rights movement that gripped the nation. A story as timeless as it is timeless and timely. The year is 1963. In Harlem, the epicenter of black culture, the fight for equality has never been stronger. The time is now. Enough is enough. Yet even within its ranks, a different kind of battle rages. Love thy neighbor or rise up against your oppressors. Jason Tanner has just arrived in New York to help spread the message of his mentor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., of passive resistance, while beat poet Anita Hopkins believes the teachings of Malcolm X all with all her heart. That the way to true freedom is by any means necessary. When Jason sees Anita perform her poetry at the iconic B-flat lounge, he's transfixed. And Anita has never met anyone who can match her wit for wit like this. One movement, two warring ideologies. Can love be enough to unite them? Confessions in B-flat is a celebration of the hard-won victories of those who came before us, and a stark reminder of just how far we still have to go. And so again, this novel is set in 1963 in Harlem, but unfortunately, we're still fighting the same battles, okay? So again, I always recommend you, our audience, to read 2 books a week. Read a fiction book and a nonfiction book. This is a fiction book. This is a made-up story, but it's based on our history. Very, very entertaining and very necessary. My nonfiction book for this week is a book we're going to get into a little further. It's called The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. And this is from Deida. And again, we're going to get into this a little deeper, but it says here in the back of the book, it says here, when a man's value is no longer measured by what he does, by his finances or social standing, how does he determine his worth? In our new world, a man's presence, his depth of awareness is his most valuable asset. And so we're going to get into that a little deeper because, again, we bring you these books to give you some food for thought, to help you really become a critical thinker, because it's not what I say, it's not what Ron says, not what our guests say, but really how you taking this information and how you build yourself from the inside out. So we're going to go take a little deeper dive into this during our food for thought segment. But before we get to that, I have a special Music is Lit a segment that I want to share with you. I really was thinking about a song or some songs that can really be of this moment. What's going on? Well, these songs, and these songs are from the 60s and 70s, and it just almost like it's like prophetic, Ron. They're talking about things in the 60s and 70s that we're going through now. And so the first poem that I like to read is from 1966, and this is from a group called Buffalo Springfield. It's a song by Stephen Stills, and the title of the song is For What It's Worth. And it reads, there's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's a battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everything's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep. Into your life it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line. The man come to take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. We better stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. We better stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. And we have people chiming in here. And Monty Biofield says, critical thinking is so important and is in short supply these days. I'd love to see more folks reading. And he also says, I love that song. Aretha Foster Bram, she's given us the hand clap emoji. And again, we thank you, Monty. We thank you, Richard. We thank Laretha, for being out there for us, really giving us some encouragement here, And this next song that I read is very special to me, Ron. I was undergraduate. I was at Rider College, Now it's Rider University. I spent 3 years at Union County College, and I transferred to Rider College. Didn't know what Rider College was. I knew where it was. I get there on campus, and I'm the only black student in the whole school of journalism. So, of course, I was an authority on all things black. But the thing that really opened up my eyes to just how things are, and they had a concert on campus, and one of the best concerts that I ever saw. It featured Bobby Humphrey, who played the flute, and it also featured a group called War. And the group was just amazing, and it was this guy, his name was Lee Oscar, and he had a belt, and on his belt was different harmonicas. And a lot of the sounds that you hear from War is just him on the harmonica, man. And he was playing this harmonica, and he was rocking back and forth. And he led this song that really stayed in my mind because it says so much. And it's so funny, Ron, as I was doing some research for this program, I thought about that song. And that song, when I first heard it, does not mean as much as it does to me today, because I look at the world and like the way this country is going, the way our government is messing up not just our government, other governments as well, you know. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, man, it's just everything is bad all over, man. It's just that everybody's not doing so good, man. And I'm thinking, man, the whole world is a ghetto. And I thought about this song, and this is from War, and this is from 1972. And man, it's just important that this song was recorded. And now more than ever, I know what this song is about. And so again, this is War, The World Is a Ghetto, 1972. Walking down the street, smoggy-eyed, looking at the sky, starry-eyed, searching for a place, weary-eyed, crying in the night, teary-eyed. Don't you know that is true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto? Don't you know that is true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto? Wonder when I'll find paradise, somewhere there's a home, sweet and nice. Wonder if I'll find happiness. Never give it up, now I guess. Don't you know that is true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto? The world is a ghetto. Yeah. The world is a ghetto. You know, there's 24 hours in the day. The world is a ghetto. Hey now, the world is a ghetto. The world is a ghetto. And what I'm saying here, that everybody's catching hell right now, you know, because our leaders are really selling us down the drain, you know. Not looking out for us, looking out for themselves. You know, people in Congress, you know, they're getting rich down there, you know, and we're suffering. Laretha Foster Bram says, "I knew you when you were at Union County College." The world is a ball of confusion, Laretha says. Yes, it does. It is a ball of confusion. That's what the world is today. Hey. Now, people just and that's why it's so important, man, that we really touch what's going on inside. Okay, we can't change the world overnight, but we can keep hope alive within ourselves. And so when we say what's going on inside, man, you know, keep a hope alive inside. You know, the 60s and the 70s and 80s were not great. You know, it's not the first time we had a criminal in the White House. Think of Richard Nixon, okay? Think of other people who didn't have our best interests at heart. You know, again, not relying if you're the president for all people, not just some people, not just for the people who voted for you. And so we're not going to dwell on that. We're going to move forward in the program. And during our Food for Thought segment, you know, we found a book, and it's so funny. A lot of you probably have this book in your library. You probably brought it. You probably put it aside because really, this book was really written. Let me give you the exact date. It was written in 1997. What we have in our hands here is the 20th anniversary edition, and then it's called here, "The Way of the Superior Man: A Spiritual Guide to Mastering the Challenges of Women, Work, and Sexual Desire." And we're going to get into that book And I want to go into the book, and I want to start here. And Larissa says here, I want to get to her before we go. It says that we can only change ourselves, and we need help with that. You're right. We can only change ourselves. But hopefully if enough of us change, enough of us see the change that we're going through, they'll say, you know what, I want some of that. Okay? I want to be in that number. And so I want to go into the book, The Way of the Superior Man, because I want to be a superior man because I want to find a superior woman. Okay? Women say they want a good man, but are you a good woman? Men say they want a good woman, but are you a good man? And so I'm going to go into the book here on page 37. The chapter reads, the headline, the heading of the chapter. It says here, if you don't know your purpose, discover it now. And let's want to read a small portion and we'll talk about it. It says here, without a conscious life purpose, a man is totally lost, drifting and adapting to events rather than creating events. Without knowing his life purpose, a man lives a weakened and impotent existence, perhaps eventually becoming even sexually impotent or prone to mechanical and disinterested sex. And so again, if a man doesn't have a purpose, he becomes less than a man. And it says here, the core of your life is your purpose. Everything in your life, from your diet to your career, must be aligned with your purpose. If you are to act with coherence and integrity in the world, if you know your purpose, your deepest desire, then the secret of success is to discipline your life so that you support your deepest purpose and minimize distractions and detours. But if you don't know your deepest desire, then you can't align your life to it. Everything in your life is disassociated from your core. You go to work, but since it's not connected to your deepest purpose, it's just a job, a way to earn money. You go through your daily round with your family and friends, but each moment is just another in a long string of moments going nowhere, not inherently profound. And Ron, before I bring you into this, I just want to make one point. One of the things about being retired and not being in the 9 to 5 and being in a rat race, you can do your work, okay? You have in your life, you'll have many jobs. This is where you make your money. But your work is how you live your life. It took me a long time to discover my work because I had many jobs. But one of the common denominator on these jobs was the fact that I like learning, but then I like sharing what I learned. And I realized, Ron, as I went through my life, that my calling was to teach. And now my work is to get information and to share it. And so I'm just blessed because being retired, I don't have to get up in the morning and go to a job. You know, I can go inside my mind and bring out things that I can share with other people. And so the point is that you have your jobs, but you have your work. And I hope that you find your work because your work is coming out of your purpose.
You know, with that, one of the most important things, and I was sitting here thinking and listening, even as I can go back and look at it from way back perspective. Mm-hmm. One has to understand what is freedom. Mm. What is your freedom? Have you ever sat back, laid back, stood back, fell back, and asked yourself, what is my purpose? Well, number one, I like to believe this. Number one, it starts with understanding your freedom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand your freedom, you will never find or even have an inkling of what is your purpose. But you have to understand what is freedom. And let me just step back for half a second for those who are in the Bible. Yeah. Okay? When God created Adam and Eve, first of all, understand, I want everybody at the sound of my voice, go and do this research because I'm still trying to find the answer to this one. But the thing is, God said, let us create man in our image and likeness. Mm-hmm. Image and likeness. Those who go to church or the mosque or synagogue, wherever, you pray, you talk to, but you never stop to think about your purpose because you have not thought about who you are of being free. In the garden, God said, eat up any tree except this one. You were free to explore, but don't touch this tree of good and evil. Today, you don't explore and you're ignorant because you touch everything that you shouldn't be touching, talk about everything that serves you no purpose. So that's why you don't have a purpose. To find your purpose is step away from the distraction and understand who you are, because as was said in the beginning, you know, starts within you. You know, who are you? What's happening? What's going on the inside? You can't sit there and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, that's your whoa, whoa, whoa boat. Where are you going? Where you come from? But you can't get mad if the boat is all over the place and nobody's there to rescue you. So again, that's how I look at it. Your purpose is in your freedom. And as you said, when you're working, you're somewhat confined to somebody else's corral or authority, but how many really find freedom in the work that you do? And when you don't find the work that you do at the job that you work for somebody else, you don't have a purpose. You get mad, and all of a sudden you don't want to come to work, get mad, or whatever the case may be. Understand freedom. You say, look, I'm working for somebody because I need the money. I got to pay the bill. But while I'm doing that, I will also find other things to do that's going to help me be free from this distraction. Finding your purpose is all around you, no matter how you look at it. It's not about going to school and sitting there and having somebody say, well, yeah, I want you to read this assignment. But he or she is not telling you a purpose. Every church, and I'm going to say every church, synagogue, mosque, whatever, all of them have the book that says your purpose. 7 steps to finding your purpose. And all the books you may read, a large percentage of people still don't know what the hell their purpose is. They still haven't found anything because they stopped reading. And even as the sister said, critical thinking. Critical thinking, which is true. But having the conversation to understand freedom, to find your purpose, is what's important.
And that's why it's so important that today to really let people be with you who really help you, okay? That's what I want to say. Because again, the company that you keep is very, very important, especially in these critical times, because you can get some people who take you so far out of the situation that you're in another land, And it's so sad. I mean, we see a lot of young men on the street and whatnot. I walk past this group of young men. They couldn't be in the maybe 20s and 30s and whatnot. I walked past them, man, and I almost got a contact high because the weed was so strong. I had to step out into the street and walk past them, And I see them out there every day. Every day they're doing the same thing. Karina Madison, she says, what's going on? Marvin Gaye, tell them listen to the words of it. Marvin lived and said it before his time. It's happening now. What's up, Katrina? We remember you,
The hurricane.
Yes, the Zoom lady. And you zoomed in and you took our hearts, you took our emotions, and people are still talking about that. But Katrina, you can really appreciate this so much more, okay? We want to be a superior man for you because you and Aretha and the other women are superior women. Kay Sweetness is checking in. She says here, one has to understand what is freedom, healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's from Kay Sweetness Jennings. Thank you, Kay Sweetness. Again, we're getting a response because, again, that purpose is not outside of you. That purpose is in you. That's why we tell you to meditate. And sometimes people call meditation prayer. Okay, you're praying because you want that inside, that desire to come out. And I was lucky, Ron. I was lucky. At 9 years old, I knew I wanted to be a writer. I didn't know what a writer was, the full extent of it, but it put me on the road. And when I say this, and I really mean this, when you find your passion, you find your path. You'll have many jobs, but that's not your work. Because your work is after that job. After you don't have to work to make money. Maybe when you retire, maybe when you hit the lottery. I don't know, But whatever it is, you have to have the freedom that my brother talked about. It's kind of hard to find this purpose when you're so busy making a living. And I know we have to make a living, especially when you're having children, and you're having small children. I've been in 2 marriages and raised children. They take a lot of your time. But even with that, you got to step back and you got to meditate. You got to think. You got to read. You got to read and you got to learn. Kay Sweeten says here, the children are in their state of mind because we dropped the ball when it comes to giving them the appropriate information. They are lost. We can help them if we show patience and compassion. And I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's why, I'm really clear about what my purpose here on this platform. I'm not trying to have every man out there be like I am, but you know what? I'm trying to put my best foot forward so I can feel good about what I'm giving, and I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. We're still learning, and that's why when we come here, we come just not speaking about what we know, but we really come speaking with reference.
You know, as we said before many times, those who may know, Bible, Romans 12:2, Paul said you become a new person by renewing of your mind. Change the way you think. Yeah. And I just want to piggyback on the last part of that, what the sister said, Jenny. They are lost. We can help them if we show patience and compassion. That's right. That's right. Well, let me take that. Mm-hmm. Those same kids that may act out a character, mm-hmm. they pick up the vibe, they see the action, whatnot. They grow up, mm-hmm. become adults. That's right. Repeat the exact same thing, and what happens is the difference is, see, those same kids who may have been trifling, wasn't paying attention when they were little, mm-hmm. go right back out and play with other kids of the same kid. When you become an adult, mm-hmm. you got more blank on your shoulder. You can shake a stick at. You don't have patience with each other. You don't talk to each other. See, freedom comes from distraction. We get mad, we get frustrated, we get angry. Freedom is when you realize, why am I mad? You separate. What's causing this irritation? You find freedom. But you can only find it when you take time to realize what's going on inside of you. Mm-hmm. Or if you're with somebody, mm-hmm. hey, babe, mm-hmm. I'm aggravated. I'm right. frustrated.
Yes.
I'm
communicate. Yeah.
You don't express. You don't talk. There's no conversation. And even if you're by yourself, mm-hmm. did you take a walk? Do you talk to nature? Say, everybody pray to God, but God, I'm going to be honest with you. God is telling you, I gave you everything you need.
That's right, everything you need.
But I can't wake you up from your own sleep.
That's right.
I'm telling you when to wake up, when to go sleep, when to have fun, when to enjoy yourself. But how many out there are really enjoying yourself with your neighbor passing by? And I said it before, and I'll say it again. You go to the park, you walk the streets, and everybody's rushing, going nowhere until something happened. Now they talk about, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. And that's the sad part about it. So freedom mm-hmm. is when you start to realize, why am I mad? Mm-hmm. Why am I holding a grudge? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who am I mad at? Yep, yep. Instead of pointing the finger about everybody else. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this in real short. Yeah, the hell with the President of the United States. He's doing his thing. He's free because he's doing what he wants to do.
That's right.
And you know why? Because everybody out there give him the power. You focus on him. You give him the energy to do what he controls you. Mm-hmm. This ain't, matter of fact, tell you the truth, you're enslaved. You just don't realize it. Because that's how you're being treated.
That's right.
But the only way you're going to be free from that mess is just like I always say, Harriet Tubman and everybody else say, I'm going to be free. My purpose is I'm going to be free. If nothing else, set yourself free. And that's what's important.
Yeah, and Kay Sweetness Jennings goes on to say, she says here, leading by design. We told the children, do as I say, not as I do. We have to walk the same talk that comes out of our mouth. Right. And I believe that. We're beyond the age where you can say, do as I do, because kids watch you. I know when I was raising my son, I didn't want him to drink. I didn't want him to smoke. I didn't want him to do drugs. So I couldn't do that. I couldn't do those things that I didn't want him to do, because, again, if I did those things and told him not to do it, he wouldn't listen to me. But I had to set the example. And so, men, I want to talk to the men just for a second here. Yeah. Men, we carry a heavy burden. Okay, we have a heavy burden because we are the leaders of our family. We are the leaders of our nation. I'm not saying that women can't be leaders as well. They can. But I think that as men, we have the greater burden. Adam, when he was brought to this earth, Adam had one job. His job was to tend that garden. Okay? That was his job. That was his mission. He saw around the world, he saw that all the animals had a mate. He said, well, God, why can't I have a mate? So God gave him a mate. He gave him Eve. But he still did not release him from his purpose. Adam still had a purpose. And in this book, it really gives us some idea of what that purpose is and what it means here. And this is from page 27, and it's in the chapter's entitled, Your Purpose Must Come Before Your Relationship. You hear what I'm saying? Your purpose, men, must become before your relationship. I'm not saying that you neglect your wives. I'm just saying that you have a purpose. And it says here, every man knows that his highest purpose in life cannot be reduced to any particular relationship. If a man prioritizes his relationship over his highest purpose, he weakens himself. This serves the universe and cheats his woman of an authentic man who can offer her full, undivided presence. Admit to yourself that if you had to choose one or the other, the perfect intimate relationship or achieving your highest purpose in life, you would choose to succeed at your purpose. Just this self-knowledge often relieves much pressure a man feels to prioritize his relationship when in fact it is not his highest priority. Your mission is your priority. Let me say it again. Your mission is your priority. Unless you know your mission and have aligned your life to it, your core will feel empty. Your presence in the world will be weakened, as well as your presence with your intimate partner. The next time you notice yourself giving in to your woman, postponing your mission, and denying your true purpose in order to spend time with her, stop. Tell your woman that you love her, but you cannot deny your heart's purpose. Tell her that you will spend 30 minutes or some specific time with her in absolute attention and total presence. But then you must return to carry on your mission. You know, men, we have things to do. Kay Sweetness talks again. Woman, allow you to do what you do. Now start doing what you are created to do. Do you know why you were created? McCray, do you know why you were created?
No, I don't know why.
But you're going to find out by reading this book. Listen to book. She on you tonight, brother.
One of the most important things with that, and all jokes aside, even as you read, you know, let's go back a step. Two things. First of all, God said, if you believe in God, he said, let us make man in our image and likeness. Men, as it was just said, to all men, your purpose is to know who you are, to understand who you are, and don't allow yourself to be distracted. Whether it's your woman, your helpmeet, or whatever, but you have a purpose. Your purpose is to be the foundation which you stand on, no matter how you look at it. I'll challenge anybody. Tell me what book that's opposite. And I stand on this. You can look this up.
Yeah,
First
please.
Corinthians, I think it's 1 Corinthians, either 7th chapter or 11th chapter. God talks about man being the head of his household.
That's right. That's
Now,
right.
let me make this very clear to everybody at the sound of my voice.
Okay.
Being the head of your house, though, don't mean you have the right to go around and kick the shit out of anybody you want. Knock them aside or no.
No.
The head of your
no.
household is you.
Mm-hmm.
Understand who you are. You understand your purpose. I'm here to maintain, to keep things within structure. Your wife, your lady, your friend, your soul mate is there to support you. No matter how you look at it. Men, you are the foundation. There's no building that can stand unless it has a foundation. Right. And it must be solid. A house will crumble if it's not on something solid. Your lady, your mate will crumble if you're not solid. You see, it's only when you fall weak to your own weakness thinking, your weak thinking is when you surrender, because, well, that's why Adam said to God, well, you gave her to me. That was an excuse.
Blaming Eve, right?
God said, I ain't asked you. I didn't bring you here for that. But he held each one accountable.
That's right.
So women, you are held accountable for who you're supposed to be. Support your man. Man, you have to be the foundation. So the purpose is that, hey, babe, I'm getting up, I'm going swimming. You want to come? No, I'll be here. But your purpose. I'm going to build something. I'm going to fix something. That's your purpose. I'm going to spend time. There's a time and season for everything, no matter how you look at it. 8 hours, but you have to divide it to find out what is your purpose. Your woman is a warrior. It doesn't mean she's going to lead the war on against, ahead of you, but she's doing her job, what she was created to do, what she has within inside of her, what God had allowed her to have to help you, okay? But you can't condemn her for being that warrior. But woman, understand, being a warrior doesn't mean you have the attitude to tell somebody to go sit down.
That's
It don't work that way.
Right. Kay Sweetie Jennings, well, she's hot tonight. She says here, why are men looking for a mate before they understand what their purpose is? You know, again, brothers, we have a purpose, and there's no excuses. Let's go back to the book here on page 44. The heading reads, "Don't use your family as an excuse." If a man never discovers his deepest purpose, or if he permanently compromises it and uses family as an excuse for doing so, then his core becomes weakened and he loses depth and presence. His woman loses trust and sexual polarity with him, even though he may be putting much energy into parenting their children and doing their housework. A man should, of course, be a full participant in caring for children and the household. But if he gives up his deepest purpose to do so, ultimately everyone suffers. The woman asks the man, "What's the program?" The man has to have the master plan. Okay, Sweetie Jenny says, again, why are so many men who know their purpose? Okay? Again, how many men know their purpose? And how many men know their purpose but don't want to work in that purpose? There are many men who let themselves be beaten down, broken down by their women, and they want to rise up, and because they don't know how to do that, they become weakened. And when a woman loses respect for a man, that's the beginning of the end. Okay? Because a real woman wants to respect a real man. So, man, what we got to do, we got to give him something to respect, like God. God will bless your blessings. He will bless your work, but you got to give him work to bless. Okay? So again, we can't be passive in this life, man. We have to be proactive. We have to do what we know that we should do. I'm not saying that we have to play our roles like robots. No, we have our heart, we have our mind, we have our spirit, but it has to move in the right direction. I think what's happening a lot of times, a lot of us are just moving in the wrong direction. We're moving in the wrong direction and expecting a blessing. It's not going to happen that way. It never did, and it never will.
You have to, first of all, I want to go back to piggyback off that too. A purpose is a responsibility. No matter how you look at it. To understand your purpose is to have responsibility. Take lead, do whatever it is. You may not know exactly, but if it means I have to walk 100 miles, not for my lady, but if I had to walk 100 miles to go something to eat, to feed my family. Because in the same token, Proverbs 30 for women, and the mother said to her son, "Who can find a virtuous woman?" A woman and sit back and say, "Well, how you didn't do it?" No, she was out there doing what she had to do, come home, take care of her family. That's where the man, the strong man, supports her. Lift her up, because that's where the help meet comes in. Yes, I know my purpose, and I'm still looking for more purposes, because God has created me to be who I am, to raise my family, to help others to continue to move forward for my freedom. Freedom is not sitting at home, sitting here, moaning and groaning and crying, I ain't got no job. What the hell is in your hand? You create something, you do something. Responsibility, liability, no matter how you look at it, I have to do what I need to do for myself, number one, because I am no good if I don't have that and uphold those principles for anybody that's in my life. Because the number one thing is the lady, your wife, your girlfriend, even your daughter, your kids are going to say, "Well, Daddy, what are we going to do?" You stay on, "I don't know."
Hold on.
No. We're going to
Wrong answer.
We're going to do. We'll find a way. We'll find out when we get there. What are we going to eat? We're going to get something to eat. Don't say, "I don't know." We're going to get something to eat. What are we going to eat? We're going to eat some food. Well, them just beans.
It'll be good food.
Let me say this in short. One of the most important things, I remember several years ago, I forget who it was, somebody asked me, for some money. I said, "I ain't had no money, but I got a can of beans." "I don't want no beans." You ain't hungry. So you have no purpose, because your purpose is that I need to do what I need to do to get something to eat. And if it means eating beans, that is going to give me the fuel to survive, to move forward towards freedom.
That's right. And Kay Sweetie Jennings says, "Women are tired of being blamed for your imperfections. Stop blaming the woman. Walk in your calling, walk in your gifting, and be humble and patient. Patience is a superpower." 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 9 through 13. So again, here's a woman encouraging men to be men, to give us someone to look up to. And it's not hard if you're moving in your purpose.
Well, I got to also say this. Not all women, but you also have to look at the percentage of women who just want to be a distraction, who just want to tear a man down, regardless how hard he works, no matter how hard he labors, even if he came home smelling. But did he labor for something? Well, you smell like, you see, talk about them sisters now. Don't talk about the men, but talk about them sisters, because again, it's on both sides. There's a responsibility.
And the name of the book is The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. And on chapter 17, it says, praise her. The masculine grows by challenge, but the feminine grows by praise. A man must be unabashed and express in his appreciation for his woman. Praise her freely. It says here, praise always magnifies the quality of your woman that you praise. You're so beautiful when you smile. It's much more effective than you're so ugly when you frown. Although they both indicate your desire for her smile. When speaking to your woman, it is always better to call the glass half full than half empty. Praise is literal food for feminine qualities. If you want your woman to grow in her radiance, health, happiness, love, beauty, power, and depth, praise these qualities. Praise them daily, a number of times a day. It is a difficult practice for most men to learn, but you must learn to praise the very qualities you feel are not yet praiseworthy in order for them to become so. In other words, praise the tiny quality that you want to grow. If you know that your woman would be healthier if she exercised more, don't tell her that. It will feel like an insult to her, a rejection of her the way she is. Instead, tell her how sexy she is when she sweats in her leotards. Tell her how much it turns you on when she moves her body. Whatever parts of her body you really like, let her know frequently. Praising the things you really enjoy when she exercises will magnify her exercising. On the other hand, by telling her why she should exercise, you are indicating that she is not acceptable to you the way she is. Praise works. Information doesn't. Praise motivates. Challenge doesn't. Try it. Praise specific things you love about your woman 5 to 10 times a day. Find out what happens. You cannot praise a woman enough. Okay, I mean, take that praise, man, with both hands and put that on your woman and watch her respond. Watch her respond to that. Okay, massage her with praise. How about that?
And you know, you one of the most important things to that, and I want to get a couple shout outs too, right quick, but one of the most important things is not to ask what's wrong, but to think and feel the vibration of silence. You see, when things are silent, when he or she is silent, you have to feel the vibration. You don't go shaking, roughing this and that. No, hey, babe, what's going on? How you doing? If you don't say nothing, just soothe him or her. Caress him or her, whatever the case it be. I just wanted to give you this. That's all. I just want to say hello. You don't have to kiss and this. And you've been together all day. Baby, I just want to say hello. What? What you mean? I just want to say hello. You'd be surprised the tongue is sharper than a two-edged sword if you use it the wrong way. But the lips could be so soothing and smooth, you'd be surprised how much honey you can get. But let me say this right quick for a couple minutes. Leave you at that. I want to give a couple. First of all, I want to thank each and every person who writes in and make comments. That's so important. So again, we respect you, we laugh and joke about it, but we also really give you the highest praise to recognize your voice. I also want to reach out and touch bases, matter of fact, with this sister, Alicia Wiles. I mean, she's a dear friend, excellent friend. Sometimes she irritates the hell out of me, but nevertheless, she's a sweet person. You know, she's okay. She's down to earth, and she is somebody you really want to meet, hang out with, and have a conversation because she is about a woman and her platform. I also had the opportunity to attend under her appreciation for inviting me with the Black Chamber, with the New Jersey Black Chamber of Commerce event yesterday, which was really, really nice. I met a lot of people, and I don't have the cards in front of me, but one of the things I met right quick, I found out from one brother who owns a lot of black hotels. And I was impressed because I said a lot of times, what do we own? So I had to say to this brother, I refrained from that because, again, he impressed me, he enlightened me, he taught me something that I didn't know because I thought all that faded out. There's a lot of black hotels around. I also met this other brother who's he's a black contractor, a large black contractor in New Jersey. You see, that's what's important is to understand when I say there's no black contractor, well, he proved me wrong. So if I had the cards, and when we come back on Sunday, I'll bring the cards and introduce you to who these brothers are, and you want to reach out, touch bases, spend time and your money in a black hotel, support the black business. That's what, for me, when somebody says support black business, that's a black business because they're about developing and helping others as they move forward. So with that, I just wanted to end with that. And again,
and just with the book, again, we recommend it highly. We're going to do some more work in the book. It's called The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. It's from Deida, D-E-I-D-A. And again, it was actually written in 1997. This is the 20th anniversary book that we have here. Please get that book. In essence, we're saying that men want freedom and women want love. Now, it's more expansive than that, but that's sort of the bottom line. But again, you know, we bring this to you because we want you to be better men and better women, and we hope that we can help you to do that. And so we're almost out of time, but Ron, you have a few things to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, in the same book. I have the same book, too. All right?
Book
and
club.
this was on page 17. You know, live with an open heart, even if it hurts. Freedom is, even in pain, I read something earlier, even with pain, you find freedom. But you have to understand, if I'm hurting, to find freedom, you have to express it. And if I can't express it, then your mate needs to know how to comfort you. I don't have to say anything. I just need to know how to hold you. But let me read this. Closing down in the midst of pain is a denial of a man's true nature. Thus, a superior man is free in feeling and action, even amidst great pain and hurt, if necessary. A man should live with a hurting heart rather than a closed one. He should learn to stay in the wounds of pain and act with spontaneous skills and love even from that place. And so with that, it may sound a little confusing, but again, you know, when you're hurting and whatnot, it's not to allow that pain to get you down because honestly, how many relationships, and you know, especially the first love, you broke up, you know, your heart broke and whatnot, but you had to regroup from that. You have to understand, yeah, my heart hurt, yeah, she left me or he left me, whatever the case would be. But you can't live life in pain. But you learn from pain, and that's where your freedom is.
That's right. And I just want to say this thing here. We have a lot of superior men looking for superior women. And so we're going to go into this book a little heavier. But again, get a copy of the book. You know, read along with us because, again, this is something that we need to look at. And you want to say one last thing? And we get
you know, just in short, again, you know, we go back and forth. We talk about relationship and superior man and whatnot. But in the same token, a lot of superior men, a lot of good men, young, middle, and seasoned seniors looking for that strong woman, not somebody who's combative, whatnot, somebody who's irritated, whatever case. Because I want every single woman who have not. I want them to understand the book of Ruth. Understand Ruth and Boaz. Understand because she said, "Where you go, I'll go. Where you lie, I lie." And so don't come talking about what way he live and I don't this. No. If that's your man, if that's your meat, then you become that person to understand what is a superior man.
That's right. And on that note, this has been Poetically Speaking with Terry Benjamin and Ronald C. McCray, and we will see you next time.